This is from Wikipedia. Occultism and Nazism. The association of Nazism with occultism occurs in a wide range of theories, speculation, and research into the origins of Nazism and into Nazism possible relationship with various occult traditions. Such ideas have flourished as a part of popular culture since at least the early 1940s during World War II, and gained renewed popularity starting in the 1960s. British historian Nicholas Goodrick Clarke analyzed the topic in his 1985 book, The Occult Roots of Nazism, in which he argued there were, in fact, links between some ideals of Ariosophy and Nazi ideology. He also analyzed the problems of the numerous popular occult historiography books written on the topic, which he found heavily exaggerated. You guys know what they're doing there, right? The relationship between Nazism and the occult. You know why they said it was exaggerated, right? Goodrick Clarke sought to separate empiricism and sociology from the modern mythology of Nazism occultism that exists in many books which have represented the Nazi phenomenon as a product of arcane and demonic influence. He evaluated most of the 1960 to 1975 books on Nazi occultism as sensational and under-researched. There you go. They're trying to minimize it. Ariosophy. Historian Nicholas Goodrick Clarke's 1985 book, The Occult Roots of Nazism, discusses the possibility of links between the ideas of the occult and those of Nazism. I'm mispronouncing on purpose, by the way. The book's main subject is the racist occult movement of Ariosophy, a major strand of nationalist esotericism in Germany and Austria during the 19th and early 20th centuries. He introduces his work as an underground history concerned with the myths, symbols, and fantasies that bear on the development of reactionary, authoritarian, and Nazi styles of thinking, arguing that fantasies can achieve a casual status once they have been institutionalized in beliefs, values, and social groups. In Goodrick Clarke's view, the Ariosophist, reminds me of Theosophist, movement built on the earlier ideas of the Volkisch movement, a traditionalist pan-German response to industrialization and urbanization, but associated the problems of modernism, specifically with the supposed misdeeds of Freemasonry, Kabbalah, and Rosicrucianism. Do you guys see Ariana Grande's getting into Kabbalah now? Interesting. In order to prove the modern world was based on false and evil principles. The Ariosophist ideas and symbols filtered through the several anti-Semitic and nationalist groups in late Wilhelmian Germany, from which the early Nazi Party emerged in Munich after the First World War. He demonstrated links between two Ariosophists and Heinrich Himmler. Modern mythology. Appendix E of Goodrick Clarke's book is entitled The Modern Mythology of Nazi Occultism. In it, he gives a highly critical view of much of the popular literature on the topic. In his words, these books describe Hitler and the Nazis as being controlled by a hidden power. You guys ever seen the pictures of the mustache guy with the J to the E to the S to the U to the I to the T to the S? Yeah. Characterized either as a discarnate entity, e.g. black forces, invincible hierarchies, unknown superiors, or as a magical elite in a remote age or distant location. He referred to the writers of this genre as crypto-historians. The works of the genre, he wrote, were typically sensational and under-researched. Sounds like they're trying to minimize it, don't you think? Where have we seen that before? Complete ignorance of the primary sources. Kind of like demonstrably false. Of the primary sources was common to most authors, and inaccuracies and wild claims were repeated. Wild inaccuracies, everyone. Wow. Were repeated by each movement to the genre until abundant literature existed based on wholly spurious facts concerning the powerful Thule society, the Nazi links with the East, and the Hitler's occult initiation. In a new preface for the 2004 edition of the Occult Roots of Nazism, Goodrick Clark comments that in 1985, when his book first appeared, Nazi black magic was regarded as a topic for sensational authors in pursuit of strong sales. Kind of like a money grab, huh? Where have we seen that before? In his 2002 work, Black Sun, which was originally intended to trace the survival of occult Nazi themes in the post-war period, Goodrick Clark considered it necessary to readdress the topic. He devotes one chapter of the book to the Nazi mysteries. Like the Egyptian mysteries. Interesting. As he terms the field of Nazi occultism, other reliable summaries of the development of the genre have been written by German historians. The German edition of the Occult Roots of Nazism includes an essay, National Socialism and Occultism, which traces the origins of the speculation about Nazi occultism back to publications from the late 1930s, and which was subsequently translated by Goodrick Clark into English. The German historian Michael Rolfman has also included a longer excursus about this book in his acclaimed book on Adolf Hitler's religious beliefs. According to Goodrick Clark, the speculation of Nazism occultism originated from post-war fascination with Nazism. People are fascinated, everyone. The horrid fascination of Nazism, it's horrid, everyone, upon the Western mind, emerges from the uncanny interlude in modern history that it presents to an observer a few decades later. The idolization of Hitler in Nazi Germany, its short-lived dominion on the European continent, and Nazism's extreme anti-Semitism set it apart from other periods of modern history. Outside purely secular frame of reference, Nazism was felt to be the embodiment of evil. In a modern 20th century regime, a monstrous pagan relapse in the Christian community of Europe. By the early 1960s, one could now clearly detect a mystique of Nazism. It's a mystique, everyone. A sensationalistic and fanciful presentation of its figures and symbols, shorn of all political and historical context, gained ground with thrillers, nonfiction books, and films, and permeated the milieu of popular culture. Trying to make the connections with Scientology, their belief, LRH's belief in occultism, and all these other, like isms, I guess. Historiography concerning the occult roots, almost said rituals, the occult roots of Nazism. The occult roots of Nazism is commended for specifically addressing the fanciful modern depictions of Nazi occultism, as well as carefully reflecting critical scholarly work that finds associations between Ariosophy and Nazi agency. A scholar, Anna Bromwell, writes, "One should not be deceived by the title into thinking that it belongs to the modern mythology of Nazi occultism." Oh, this sounds like more minimizing, you guys. Are you guys ready? A world of salacious fantasy. It's salacious fantasy, everyone. I guess it's salacious fantasy that LRH was totally into the occult too, huh? Convincingly dismembered by the author in an appendix. Ooh. Referring to the various written, depicted, and produced material that delves into Nazi occultism. Without providing any reliable or relevant evidence, everyone. There was no evidence, anyone. Instead, it is through Goodrick Clark's work that several scholarly criticisms addressing occult relevance in conjunction with Ariosophist practices arise. Okay, I don't think I want to read the whole thing. Hold on. Okay, I just followed a link regarding Adolf Hitler's library. And isn't it interesting? Some of the books were destroyed. Shocking. Okay, so I don't want to get into all the details because it would get flagged on YouTube. But there was a gentleman, well, I don't know if you want to call him a gentleman, but a man in prison in Nazi Germany for 7 months, and his doctoral degree was revoked. He did some things that many people would not accept in those days, and probably even in today's day. And he sent the Mustache Man Magic, History, Theory, and Practice, which Hitler was said to have marked extensive passages, including one which reads, "He who does not have the demonic seed within himself will never give birth to a magical world." Oh, and then, of course, they bring up Theosophy. Theosophist Alice A. Bailey. She stated that Adolf Hitler was possessed by what she called dark forces. Let's see here. And anyways, they talk a little bit about the energy of the Antichrist. Where have we seen that before, you guys? Talk about the NWO. I'm not going to go into that because, you know, they're going to get mad. And who else is brought up? Of course, Aleister Crowley. It says there are also unverifiable rumors, of course they're unverifiable, that the occultist Aleister Crowley sought to contact Hitler during World War II. Despite several allegations and speculations to the contrary, there's no evidence of such an encounter. No evidence, anyone. Anyways, I'm not going to read the whole thing. You guys can go check it out. It's just basic information. Lots of trying to minimize things. I'll leave the link in the description box. Like and subscribe if you choose. Otherwise, have an amazing day or night wherever you are. Peace.